You wake up already tired, like you just ran a marathon in your dreams, except the marathon was answering emails that say, per my last message, and pretending you remember what day it is, who you are, and why your alarm hates you personally with such passion. Your body feels like it technically slept, but your soul definitely stayed up doom-scrolling, worrying, and replaying conversations from 5 years ago. You grab your phone and immediately start doing the sacred American ritual, scrolling before consciousness fully loads, eyes half open, brain still on airplane mode, thumb moving on pure muscle memory. Notifications explode like fireworks on the 4th of July, except instead of freedom, it's Slack, Gmail, Teams, calendar reminders, app badges, and that one app you downloaded to organize your life that now just judges you silently every time you open it, like a disappointed parent who doesn't even yell anymore. You tell yourself you're busy, productive, grinding. You're doing things, important things. Or at least, things that look important if someone walks by your desk at the right angle and sees graphs instead of fear, charts instead of confusion. Tabs open everywhere, like a digital junk drawer you're afraid to clean. Fingers moving, head nodding like one of those dashboard dogs from the early 2000s that somehow never questioned existence or meaning. This is productivity theater, baby. Broadway-level performance with jazz hands made of spreadsheets, muted microphones, and fake enthusiasm. You're not working, you're acting like someone who works. And the audience is your boss, your coworkers, LinkedIn, your family, and that weird voice in your head that sounds like a motivational podcast host who drinks raw eggs, wakes up at 4 a.m., and screams about legacy while definitely being sponsored by 3 supplements you don't need and 1 mindset you can't afford. Somewhere along the line, Americans decided that being calm is suspicious. If you're not stressed, people assume you're unemployed, lazy, or secretly rich, which might be the worst crime of all. So we stay busy on purpose. We answer emails instantly to prove we exist, like digital CPR on our own relevance. We type "sent from my phone" like it's a personality trait. We apologize for late replies that were sent 37 minutes after the original email. We schedule meetings about meetings just to feel the warm, suffocating embrace of a calendar that's completely full. Full calendar equals full life, right? You jump from task to task like a squirrel on Red Bull, terrified of stopping for even 10 seconds because silence might force you to think, and thinking is dangerous. Thinking leads to questions like, why am I doing this? Or is this even real work? Or the ultimate horror, do I even like my life? So instead, you refresh the inbox, again, and just to be safe, once more. Productivity in America isn't about results, it's about motion, constant motion, movement for the sake of movement. If you're exhausted, congrats, you're doing it right. That's the unspoken rule nobody remembers agreeing to, but everyone follows religiously. Burnout isn't a warning sign, it's a badge of honor. You wear it proudly, like a Purple Heart for surviving another week of pretending everything's fine, while your eye twitches during Zoom calls, and you laugh at jokes you didn't hear because you were answering another email. Your brain, meanwhile, is melting quietly in the background like an overheated laptop fan screaming for mercy that nobody hears or acknowledges. We were not designed to process 15 conversations, 8 deadlines, 3 screens, endless notifications, and 1 low-grade existential crisis simultaneously. But here we are, raw-dogging modern life with caffeine, fake confidence, and the vague hope that someday it'll slow down on its own. You call it multitasking, science calls it your brain panicking and doing none of this well. But panic feels productive, so we keep going. We replace focus with urgency. Everything is urgent. Everything is on fire. Everything needs attention right now. Even the email that just says, following up. Following up on what? Nobody knows. Doesn't matter. Reply fast. Add an exclamation point. Smile through the keyboard. Look alive. Somewhere in the middle of this chaos, you tell yourself you'll rest later. Weekend, vacation, retirement, maybe the afterlife if there's Wi-Fi and no notifications and nobody can circle back. You build your entire life around the idea of after this, not realizing there's always another this waiting patiently in your inbox, tapping its foot, watching the clock. The craziest part is how normalized this all is. You tell someone you worked 12 hours and they don't ask if you're okay, they say nice, like you just told them your bench press max or your credit score. You say you're overwhelmed and they say same, like it's a fun little club everyone joined without reading the terms and conditions, and now nobody can leave without guilt. The American dream quietly mutated into the American to-do list, and if you ever finish it, they just give you a longer one with more bullet points, fewer rewards, and a polite thank you email. You try productivity hacks, morning routines, cold showers, planners with aggressive fonts that look like they yell at you when you open them. You wake up at 5 a.m. to get ahead, which really just means you're tired earlier and angry at the sun for existing. You optimize everything except the one thing that matters, whether any of this makes sense. Your brain is running 12 apps at once, none of them responding, and instead of closing anything, you just buy more RAM in the form of energy drinks, motivational quotes, and podcasts telling you to push harder while quietly selling you burnout with better branding. Deep down, you know the truth. You're not busy because the work is meaningful, you're busy because stopping feels terrifying. Stillness feels like failure. Rest feels earned, but the finish line keeps moving. If you're not producing, you're disappearing. So you stay occupied. Not fulfilled, occupied. Like a waiting room with Wi-Fi, a broken clock, a blinking cursor, and a TV stuck on a channel you didn't choose. You fantasize about quitting, moving to the woods, opening a coffee shop, starting a podcast, learning pottery, or doing literally anything that doesn't involve color-coded spreadsheets and fake urgency. Then Monday hits and you're right back in the hamster wheel, telling yourself this time will be different, this week will be calmer, this system will suddenly make sense. It won't, because the system doesn't reward clarity, it rewards exhaustion. It doesn't care if you're happy, only if you're responsive, available, and slightly panicked. And until we admit that half of what we call productivity is just beautifully organized avoidance, the brain collapse continues, one notification at a time, while we smile, nod, overcommit, pretend we're fine, and say the most American sentence of all. Yeah, I've just been super busy.
And if any of this felt a little too familiar, relax, it's not just you. This channel is basically a meeting point for people who are tired of pretending everything's under control while their brain quietly melts. So, hit subscribe, not as an obligation, but as a small signal to the algorithm that you're still here, still aware enough to laugh at the collapse. Because if we're going to lose our minds to notifications, we might as well do it together.